Sort of revolution has burst in the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. The Dangote Refinery has begun operations. The 650,000 barrels per day facility has been designed to process crude oil grades from the three continents of Africa, Asia, and America. The refinery will deliver a surplus of about 38 million liters of petrol, diesel, kerosene, and aviation fuel for Nigerians daily. Hence, it will meet 100% fuel supply requirement of the country. In addition, the Dangote Refinery is also capable of establishing 26,716 filling stations, creating 100,000 direct and indirect jobs, as well as a $21 billion market for crude oil in the country. BKO, I'm sure you will glad that this is happening. But let me quickly ask you this directly. How will the Dangote Refinery transform Nigeria's oil and gas sector?
The question is, how will it help us improve access to
availability of crude oil or petrol?
Yes, because that is the big problem that we are. Why is it that today aviation fuel is so, airlines, their tickets are so costly? Because access to Jet A1
Discussed.
Yes. So there was a time that they were finding it difficult. But Dangote, the refinery, will be able to process aviation fuel, premium motor spirit, which is petrol, diesel, kerosene. Kerosene too is extremely expensive in our country now. I'm not saying that Dangote Refinery will crash prices. Let Nigerians know that it will not crash prices. But the cost of those products will go down because we had been extremely dependent on importing petrol and those other regulated products. Yes, we had been dependent on importation. This is the refinery that will take away that dependence. When that dependence is taken away, the cost of freighting, the cost of the landing cost will definitely reduce.
Right.
The international price is still what would it will still be sold at the international price. So if crude oil prices go up in the international market, it's not as if
it will affect
in Nigeria it will not affect us.
Oh, really?
Yes. The price is uniform globally.
So what if...
But because it's not all of those associated costs that have to do with importing the product, clearing and all that will be taken away, which will ensure that
the price of petrol is a little bit reduced,
goes down, even if it is marginal.
Right.
It will go down. The cost of, so what we even sometimes do is make crude available to the refiners. They will refine the crude, will now send it here, and then the landing cost is added to the entire cost. Once you take that landing cost away, because it's produced here, it will definitely help us to reduce. It will help the price to come down. And if we can fix those three refineries of ours, they still have someone told me that they still have a combined capacity of about 400,000, per day. Maybe that's true. Maybe they lied to me. I wouldn't know. I don't work in the sector. But once we can also fix those refineries, because what will show us to be unserious as a people is to totally depend on Dangote. They were talking about 16,500 filling stations. that should tell you that Dangote plans to go into retail business. He's trying to leverage on this refining capacity to now set up filling stations where
you can sell the product as well.
He was talking about 16,000 trucks. Already he has brought in trucks. So he's going to the way you have NNPC filling stations, you are going to begin to see Dangote filling stations where he will move his refined product for Nigerians to buy. The advantage that we will have is this availability, problem of availability of the product will go. So we will have sufficient supply, because a man who will be able to give us cumulatively 38 million liters, per day. That is including
diesel, kerosene, and aviation fuel.
That is substantial. That's substantial. I think that we won't have the problem that we used to have. For days we are waiting. NNPC will tell you that there are some cargoes on the high seas. They are coming, this and that.
Yeah.
You have Dangote here. You can refine 650,000. That's in excess of what we even need on a given day. That's a lot. And that's why they describe it as the single train, the largest single train refinery in the world. Yeah. Some people have said it's the largest refinery in the world. I saw an advert copy on TV. It's not the largest refinery in the world. In fact, I think it's the 7th largest, because I was counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the 7th largest refinery in the world, but it's the largest single train refinery. And what it means by single train refinery is a refinery that uses an integrated distillation unit or one crude distillation unit to refine crude oil into various petroleum products, as against those with multiple distillation units. So it has one unit
that will remove the kerosene, remove
the distillation. Whereas all those big refineries used to have multiple. So it doesn't mean it's the biggest refinery in the world. It's not the biggest refinery.
So it's just a single train that makes it the largest.
It's the largest single train.
Right.
People need to know this, because I've had people say, Dangote Refinery, largest in the world. Absolute lie. The largest refinery in the world is in India.
Right.
Yes, it's called the Janaga Refinery. It refines 1,240, 1,240,000 barrels per day. 1 million. And Dangote does 650,000.
Half a million.
So it can do
a lot more than expected.
2 times. It does like two times what Dangote Refinery can do. So that's the largest refinery in the world. So he's important. I was saying, even I was in Abuja one day. Somebody came on this program and described Dangote Refinery as the largest in the world, and I'm like, come on, this is not true now. The viewer must not be misled.
Indeed. So GKB, from what BKO has pointedly stated out, this is more like Nigeria is moving towards self-sufficiency in terms of import of oil and gas and all of that. But how confident, even though he is promising to deliver much more than we can expect, how confident are you that perhaps along the line, the supply demand, it might show itself, and we'll definitely go back to the way we were before, looking out for petrol, we don't see them again, we have long queues and all of that. How confident are you about this project?
I think that Dangote himself has solved that problem for himself with the retail business that is going to. But this guarantees that there will be availability of fuel across his own stations, across the country. And the advantage, of course, is the fact that our turnover time for what we call the National Reserve will now be bigger. I expect that somewhere along the line, NPC will now be building bigger storages outside the one they have at Satellite Town, the one they have in Kaduna, and the one they have in Ibadan. So our storage farms or storage facilities, because it's now localized, can now be built at a bigger capacity. So that means if there is any slump in international price, we have enough backup. Normally, NNPC will claim 3 months. But with us doing it at home, this will guarantee us at least between 6 months and 1 year. That means even when the refinery is having issues, we will have enough backup to fall back on for at least 6 to 9 months. if not a year. That to me is the game changer.
But when they are even, the refinery needs to even close.
Or repairs.
Or refurbishing and all that.
Turnover maintenance. So that to me is key. The key is the fact that there will be seamless transition between what we have and what we are going to need. Because people panic easily. A simple rumor that there's a pothole in front of the refinery, people start rushing to stock up. That's who we are. You can't help it. We worry about everything. So I think once Dangote start the retail business, that means the outlets are already given. So there's no need for middlemen. That normally causes the problem
that we usually face whenever there's
will be from the producer.
Then we make more money.
Because you make money across the board.
You know, talking of making more money, we have these refineries, like we had about 3 refineries that are yet to be fully functional. But, you know, does this mean that since we have these Dangote refineries, the other refineries should be, you know, left to not perform optimally? Because we need to have all the refineries, if at all we're to say, okay, we have a Dangote refinery. What about the other refineries as well?
Nothing even stops us from building refineries. Nothing stops us. Because pinning your hopes on one individual does not make any sense.
It's a national risk.
It's a big, big risk, especially an individual who is
out for profit.
Yes, and it doesn't joke about that. You know, so we need to fix our refinery. There should be no excuse whether Dangote builds 2 types of this one or not. Nigeria as a nation needs
its own refineries.
There are states in the U.S. where they have more than 20 refineries. Just one state.
No cities.
One state. Texas, you know. Texas, for example. So why would we somehow 16 refineries?
16.
Yes, one state in the U.S.
And then imagine what it would do.
So America as a country has more than 100 refineries. So what is the problem with us? That we have just 3 refineries. The Kaduna refinery,
4.
That is okay. 4. Port
Harcourt
Harcourt is 2. Port Harcourt is 2.
Warri.
Then we have Warri, we have Kaduna.
4.
So 4. Port Harcourt 1, Port Harcourt 2. Yes. So I was counting Port Harcourt as 1. But they've been largely idle. Warri Refinery is said to be one of our most modern refineries. And people expected so much from Warri Refinery. But what do we have? Just there. You know, so, and we spend so much money trying to get these refineries working.
So is it based on political
Fat
will?
cats
We don't have
continue to
political
steal
will to
money
ensure
meant
this
for
is done?
turnaround maintenance. Fat cats continue to steal them. Steal the money, make sure the refineries are not working. They will bring more money for turnaround maintenance. We'll steal again. The kind of people in the oil sector,
it's a vicious circle.
it's like we've been cursed with some of the people in the oil sector. They are the ones stealing us blind in the name of level of consumption of PMS on every day. They know that they are lying, that we don't consume that much, but they need to lie so that they can make money,
more money
from what is it called?
TMs.
From
the subsidy.
Subsidy. Because if we say you are doing 68 million or 70 million, the subsidy bill will be higher. The higher the level of consumption that is not scientifically determined, the higher you pay a subsidy bill. And it's from this that they make their money. That's why some of us think the subsidy thing should go. Because it has enabled us to create some fat cats, billionaires, out of the sweat of patriotic Nigerians.
GKB, what's the way out of this if we're to look at, having our own refinery working for the sake of everyone and then not for the sake of a few?
Well, the subsidy must go. That's the first thing. Once there are no profits to be made from our suffering, the true figures will come out. I will know. Because once you know that whatever you bring is what you sell, unless that is done, the fat cats will continue to fleece us. There's nothing we can do. So the first point, of course, like I said, is to ensure that we get the correct figure. For example, you and I know that 60-65% of the entire consumption in Nigeria is with Lagos and Ibadan access. And then the Abuja-Kaduna access. If you can isolate those, basically, and say, okay, Dangote, you have the primary market here. I'm sure once there's no subsidy, we'll get the figures in those areas to less than 30 million a day. Because we know the number of registered vehicles. And we know the number of things that they can consume. Because that's why when people complain about the Nigeria getting loans or getting debt relief, the Igbo people will laugh at us. Because they know how much is coming out. And they know how much we are declaring. That's why we are always the joke when we have to go out and search for money. And once that is done, in another 2, 3, 4 years, this will stabilize. And once you have enough fuel, even our electricity will stabilize.
Indeed.
Because you have enough to now power.
So to be a trickle-down effect.
Seriously. Because once the tailors are working, once the iron benders are working, people will find something productive to do.
Indeed. So even
that
our
will
economy
stop
will
people
show up,
from going straight to Okada. Because you've broken the chain of production. And that to me is key. So it's not only Dangote. We need nothing less than 5 of this. Because Nigeria's population is growing at a rate that we cannot really meet up.
True.
Lagos alone was 20 million 5 years ago. Only God knows how many people are in Lagos today.
Right, let's quickly move on.
The state of Texas in the U.S. has 32 refineries. You know, if one state can have 32 refineries, why should Nigeria have 4 refineries? 4 refineries that are not working. It makes no sense.
Right, let's
so we
move on.
need to
address this
best,
issue.
yes.
Indeed.